The Prime Minister hitting the ice with the Edmonton Oilers as he prepares for his next political play, sending Canadians to the polls.
In this time of crisis is that the government needs a strong and clear mandate.
CBC News and Radio-Canada have learned Mark Carney will ask the Governor-General on Sunday to dissolve Parliament, a day before it was set to return, triggering an election campaign.
And I haven't been Prime Minister for a week yet, and you can see what we've done thus far. We can do even more.
The Liberals are leading in the polls for the first time in almost 3 years. After Justin Trudeau resigned, Donald Trump threatened Canada, and Carney took power.
It's one of the most unprecedented shifts in public opinion we've seen in modern history.
Poll analyst Eric Grenier says if there was an election today, polling suggests the Liberals could win.
Maybe potentially getting a majority government that even Justin Trudeau couldn't get in the last 2 elections.
After losing some ground in the polls, the Conservatives leader pitching a way to fast-track big industrial projects and defending its decision to bar journalists from traveling on their campaign bus and plane.
We will have open media across the country. Local media will have the ability to ask questions. It will be refreshing to hear from local outlets on what they have to say about their local priorities.
It ends a decades-old practice and could make it harder for political journalists to attend campaign events and ask Poilievre questions.
He gets defensive, he gets offended, he can't handle questions.
The NDP is facing questions about its own future. Polls suggest it's getting squeezed out of the race, and even Jagmeet Singh's own riding's at risk.
We're not going anywhere. We're always going to fight for working people. We're not going anywhere.
That will be up to Canadians to decide when they cast their ballots this spring, and what we've seen lately is just how quickly and dramatically public opinion can change. Polls can also be wrong. It's all going to depend on the campaign.
Ashley, what else do we know about exactly when Canadians will be voting?
Well, sources tell CBC News and Radio-Canada this election campaign is expected to be anywhere from 5 to 7 weeks long. And that means Canadians could be heading to the polls either on April 28th or May 5th.
Thanks, Ashley. Ashley Burke in Ottawa. With the start just days away, Olivia Stefanovich gives us a look at how prepared the parties are for a grueling high-stakes race.
In this Ottawa battleground riding, an electorate electrified.
Yeah, man, I'm not surprised he's calling it. I'm glad, and I think I'm pretty excited, actually.
I think it's a good time to call the election.
Some voters already picking sides.
I'm really hoping that Mr. Carney and the Liberals are successful, because I think that, like many people, I am not in any way enamored with Mr. Poilievre's negativity. And I'm just not sure that the NDP at the moment are up to it.
With just 3 days to go, the parties are kicking their preparations into high gear and finalizing their candidates.
So, Prime Minister, thank you for coming home to Edmonton today.
Edmonton Mayor Amarjeet Sohi is expected to run as a Liberal, appearing alongside Mark Carney for a pre-campaign announcement. Another high-profile candidate now in the race for the Liberals, former journalist Evan Solomon.
The busy power in politics, you are where you need to be.
Throwing his name into the ring nearly a decade after CBC fired him, following reports he brokered art deals with people he interviewed, including Carney.
This campaign is not like any other.
It's a stark turnaround from just weeks ago, when the Liberals were having trouble recruiting candidates.
However, many of these ridings are very close, and in those cases, it could make a difference.
I want to bring it home, and that's why we need to put Canada first.
Their lead in the polls is narrowing, but the Conservatives are still far ahead in candidate nominations, followed by none other than the Green Party.
It is important to have a diversity of voices in Ottawa that stand up for Canadians, and the Green Party is part of them. So the last thing we want is to simply disappear from the face of the earth.
Polling shows the Greens and NDP are at risk of losing not just seats, but party status. And with an election call expected Sunday, Canadians may have a little more than a month before Decision Day. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
Let's turn now to CBC News chief political correspondent, Rosemary Barton. Rosie, already this election is looking far different from previous campaigns.
For sure. This is, first of all, not the election campaign we thought we were going to have just a couple of months ago. As you saw there in Ashley's story, the polls show that this is a real race between the Conservatives and the Liberals. The Conservatives have gone from a 20-plus point lead in the polls to basically now tied with the Liberals. So the campaign is really going to matter here. The Liberals are looking for a short campaign to try and ride the momentum they have, minimize risks and mistakes. And uniquely, of course, this election will not just be about Canada. It will be shaped by the threats from the president. An election about foreign policy and security is very rare in Canadian politics. But the one overwhelming ballot box issue right now, Canadians are asking themselves who is best placed to lead the country through economic threats and questions around the country's sovereignty. And they're going to have to consider what leaders are putting forward.
So that's an issue parties can plan their campaigns around. But what do you see as the wild cards here?
Couple of wild cards. Mark Carney has never led a federal election campaign before, only been a politician for 2 months, so untested on that front. Pierre Poilievre has also never led a federal election as leader, but he's been practicing for the past 2 years. The biggest wild card here is, of course, President Trump, who will insert himself into this election intentionally or not, and how parties respond to this could really upend the campaign, Christine.
Rosemary Barton, thank you.
Thank you.